Yes, so that issue of subsidy obviously is a major one that we will stay on. But first of all, let's also see another problem that seems to be brewing another side of the economy. The Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria have directed members to shut down operations of all shipping companies and begin an indefinite nationwide strike from today, June the 5th. According to the President General of the Union, Prince Adewale Adeyanju, organized labor had been battling with the shipping companies for the welfare of workers. They are asking for better working conditions of the workers in the nation's shipping industry. We have joining us here to put more face and details to it, the Deputy Secretary General Organizing of the Maritime Workers Union, Comrade Abdul Eroje. He's in the studio with us. Comrade Eroje, good morning. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so first of all, before we go to your strike, I don't know why the maritime workers are striking now when the labor is also talking. I mean, the issue of subsidy. How is that affecting you, removal of subsidy? And
yes, I think the newly elected president of the country, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was ill-advised because it was a booby trap they set for him. The government, the outgoing government of, the former government of, what do you call him, Muhammad Buhari, deliberately, what do I say, deliberately, on his own, I hope you are getting me, capture the subsidy of petroleum product in the budget till June. And in doing so, supplementary budget cannot come in now because of the 10th National Assembly have now been constituted. And in removing that subsidy, without putting template in place that will ameliorate the suffering of the masses, the refineries, it is even amusing to see somebody like Mele Kyari, the DG of the
Group Managing Director of NNPCL.
Of NNPC, with Mefiale, they are now discussing with Tinubu how to remove the subsidy.
But the president, even during his campaign, never hid the fact that subsidy was going to go. You know, even before the inauguration, during his campaign, he said it, and we've heard the numbers of our debt servicing. We've heard how much subsidy is eating very deep into the pockets of the economy. We've heard NNPCL saying that the federal government owes it 2.8 trillion naira because of subsidy. You know, so I mean, it shouldn't come as a surprise. I guess this was already announced even before now.
No, if we ask ourselves, for the past 8 years or 10 years, I remember in 2015, Jonathan increased the pump price to from 87 to 97, 10 naira. And hair was let loose. Tinubu, everybody, Tunde Bakari, and they were all on the street. Femi Falana said, no, we will not accept it. The man backpedaled. He listened to the voice of the masses. Immediately they took over, they increased the price. Now, they have not prepared any ground. How do we revamp our refinery? Have we been able to privatize them? Have we bring in a private investor to manage the refinery, both repairs? Have you now built most of these refineries? The worry and
so these are the conditions you think should be put in place
before you remove the subsidy.
The subsidy is removed. Anyway, okay, so we're going to talk about, but let's not lose on track while you're here, which is that maritime workers begin strike today. Why?
We embark on this strike because of condition of service for the workers in the shipping sector of Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, because we have 4 branches of the union: the MPA, the dock worker, the seafarers, and the shipping. And the dock workers have NJIC that regulate the wages and remuneration of the workers. The same thing seafarer. The MPA, that is Salaries and Wages Commission, regulate their wages. But the shipping, all of that time, they have been on this issue of plant level negotiation. But the union now said, no, let us have NJIC, National Joint Industrial Council, that we discuss, negotiate the remuneration, condition of service of the shipping workers. And the Shipping Association of Nigeria and Indigenous Shipping Company, they have been relying on this. And the union, we have been on this matter since 2018, before COVID-19. 2020, correspondent before me here, we wrote to them, a committee was set up, and they have been dribbling us that they want to hear from NECA, they want to hear from this, they want to hear from Consumer Protection Agency, and so on and so forth. Shippers Council, that regulate economic activities of tariff and so on and so forth, called for a meeting, we met with them. They have been dribbling us. You will not believe that some shipping workers are casuals for almost 10 years. And the law says 3 months probation.
All right, just hold your thoughts there, comrade. We have Kelly Agiga at the office of the of the maritime workers in Apapa joining us now, just to give us a feel of how the strike looks over there. Hi, Kelly, can you hear me? Kelly, can you hear me?
Absolutely, we can hear you. It's indeed a big threat and declaration from the maritime workers. And as you can see just behind me, yes, a bit noisy, and that's because the workers are out here determined and resolute to indeed shut the ports and terminals across the country. But that's not all. They are also determined to also shut down all the oil and gas platforms across the country over what they have described or termed as unresolved or lingering unresolved issues. And some of these issues can actually be classified into two. The first has to do with the condition of service, and of course the other one has to do with the employers unwilling to negotiate with them. And that's why today they have decided to ground activities. They have decided to shut the terminals right here at their Apapa ports. And that's what exactly we have going on here at the moment. They have decided to shut down the ports and terminals across the country.
All right, Kelly. So we see them singing and dancing. Have they told you what other plans? Are they picketing, or they're just singing and dancing? Are they disturbing traffic along that route in Apapa? I think perhaps the noise there is rather much for Kelly to hear that. But I mean, thank God we do have you here, comrade. So, but I'm just wondering, we're just starting a new administration, the administration led by President Bola Tinubu.
Yeah.
Why now? Have you sought or tried to have conversations perhaps with the incoming administration? Instead of, I mean, my colleague there talked about how you're planning to shut down even the oil and gas, and we know how much damage that can bring to economic activities. So have you tried having a conversation now? And why is it just barely a week into the administration, you decide to go on strike?
Yeah, the oil and gas issue, we have been on this matter since 2018, when Amichu was the Honorable Minister of Transport. Then Sokonte was the Deputy Director, Marine and Operation. And the Eastern Stevedore Law, that's Section 27 of NIMASA Act of 2007, states clearly those who are eligible to work as dock workers in the port, bonded terminal, jetties, and oil platform. And this extant law is being not complied with by the IOC. And what are the jobs at the oil platform? Coupling and uncoupling of hose that they use to load the vessels and so on and so forth, riggers that do the work of lifting of pipe and so on and so forth. And the stevedores were appointed to this platform Hello? They were appointed to this platform, but they refuse to accept them. In 2020, we met with Amici, and I asked him, can any Nigerian man go to US? Because who are this IOC? Who are the owner of the IOC? ExxonMobil, I hope you are getting me, Total, Ajib, and so on and so forth. But they refuse to obey the extant law. And Amici give them 7 days. 2020, June.
So after the 7 days, nothing
happened.
Okay, all right, let's get another side of this story with the co-founder and executive chairman of ENL Consortium Limited, Princess Victoria Hastrop. She joins us virtually now from Lagos. Princess Hastrop, thank you so much for your time. So the maritime workers have taken to the streets, shut down work and all of that. How much of these do you think could have been curbed before now, and what's the way forward from your perspective?
Thank you very much for having me. The issue of the agitation by the Maritime Workers Union has nothing to do with, as you would well know, that ENL is a port operator. You know, I'm part of the Association of Port Operators in Nigeria. So the issue that is causing agitation by the Maritime Workers Union has nothing to do with the port operator. It has to do with the shipping companies. And I want to suggest, advise our shipping companies partners to please dialogue with the Maritime Workers Union to see to a peaceful resolution of whatever is the cause of the agitations. I really don't know what the problems are, you know, but I believe with dialogue that could be solved. So that's what I'm encouraging my my colleagues to do.
All right, so now that they have down tools, especially at the dawn of a new administration, and of course this will bring disruption to the whole ecosystem of maritime and the ports and all of that. I mean, he talked about the former minister, Amici, had intervened and still they didn't see. How would you advise them to move forward? Who should they be looking to now, or what should the new administration be doing? I mean, already they have their hands full. We have the issue of subsidy really big on the plate at this time.
Well, I think there should be intervention on the part of government. You know, everything should be done within, Maritime Workers Union should be ready to dialogue with the shipping companies. Fortunately, this has nothing to do, like I said earlier on, it has nothing to do with the port operators. You know, there is peaceful coexistence between the port operators and the Maritime Workers Union. I know they might have right to agitate, but it should be done in a peaceful manner. And I want to believe that's done right now because there's no stoppage to ship operation this morning. And I commend the leadership of the Maritime Workers Union that they didn't do that. Port operation is going on right now in the port. You know, it shows the understanding of the Maritime Workers Union to the importance of port operation in the port. So I commend them for that. But I think government should intervene, and the shipping companies should please dialogue with the Maritime Workers Union to see, you know, what how they can meet them right at the middle or at the center to solve this problem, whatever the problem is.
And what are your expectations as a port operator? Already we have the big issue of the subsidy removal. We had the promise by the president of unification of FX, and I know that really concerns your operations. So what are your expectations as we begin this new administration?
Well, my expectation is that government would put a lot of emphasis on the Maritime Workers Union and the maritime industry. The maritime industry is very huge. Government is looking to generate income. And I tell you, the maritime sector has the capacity to generate huge income for the federal government of Nigeria. And that can only be done when right policies are made. And of course, when policies are made, before policies are made, government should please engage those that are operating within the sector. We know the problem. We have suggestion. We must make input. When we make input, it will give room for a robust policy to be implemented by government. And when that is done, it will actually, help the economy of Nigeria to grow. The maritime industry is huge, like I said. You have the port operator, you have the shipping companies, you have the clearing agent, you have the ship handlers, you have the truckers, you have a whole lot of them. It's a huge, huge sector. So government should pay, a lot of emphasis on this sector, not on oil alone. Oil will soon pass, but the maritime sector will forever be there. Businesses are done in the port. There is import, there is export, activities going on a daily basis. So government needs to pay a lot of attention to the maritime sector that has such a capacity. The potential is there. The potential is really very huge. So government, I expect the new administration of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu to please, pay attention to the maritime industry. That's what is needed. Right policies, like I said, must be passed. Government must talk to people that are operating within the sector. We have ideas because we run the port. A lot of us are, doing one activities or the other in the port. So we can make input to bring about a robust policy. Policy is key.
So I guess that will also mean that there has to be a kind of attention given to whoever will emerge as the Minister of Transport, because under that individual, then you will need someone who would give attention to the maritime and all the other aspects of maritime, of transportation.
Yes. We also would, ask the new president to please ensure that somebody who has the experience of maritime is appointed to be the Minister of Transportation. That's very important. Like I said, this sector is very, very important to the economy of Nigeria. It has such a huge capacity. So we don't want somebody who will start learning. It's a sector that should be, that should be managed by people who have enough experience, to run the sector. So that's what we'll, ask the president to ensure that that's done.
All right. Thank you so much, Princess Victoria Hastrop, co-founder and executive chairman of ENL Consortium Limited, for your sharing your views with us this morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Let's take a short break now. When we come back, we'll continue here on Business Morning. Welcome back to watching Business Morning here on Channels Television. We still have a colleague out there, Kelly Agiga, out on the streets following the Maritime Union workers who have down to asking for better welfare, and we hope we'll be able to hook up to him in a couple of minutes. Kelly, can you hear me? Are you there?
Yes, Imi, I can hear you. So we had to climb on something that's a bit elevated, particularly in fact, we are on a truck, and that's because we had to try and move away from the noise of the protesters. I don't know if you can hear me loud and clear.
I can hear you, Kelly. Go ahead.
All right, so I mean, just a moment ago, I was sharing with you how the workers here have said, look, they are shutting down the ports and terminals nationwide. And I was trying to see my cameraman can perhaps span so that we can establish where we are. We are just here at the Papa Port, but to my right there we can see the Nigerian Ports Authority, the Port of Lagos Apapa, and of course, so this is where we are. Pockets of crowds are gathering here to understand exactly why these protesters, these maritime workers, what their demands are. There's the question as to if this is connected to the fuel subsidy removal, as I have seen also captured in one of the inscriptions displayed by the workers. But who better to ask than the National Treasurer of the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria. He's right here with me, and of course we're going to get his perspective on the program live here. He's Comrade Uche Ugonu. Comrade, please, we need you right now. Comrade. Well, you know how it is, organizing protests nationwide, so it is expected he's busy trying to see how he can also ask the protesters to tone down a bit so that we can hear them loud and clear. Yeah, Comrade, we need you live on TV right now. We need you live now. Talk to us exactly. We have spoken to some of your executives on the program, but share with us, is this in any way connected to the fuel subsidy removal? Because I've seen it captured on one of the placards displayed by some of your protesters.
The situation you see here presently has nothing to do with the NLC expected strike. This is entirely Maritime Workers Union strike, and it is from shipping branch of Maritime Workers Union.
So in terms of the timing of this strike, in terms of the timing, why now?
Now, because we've been on this matter since 2018, and we now found out that management is recalcitrant on doing anything to improve the welfare of workers in shipping sector of Maritime Workers Union.
And so you are a national exco. Talk to us, how long is this going to last, this shutdown?
This is going to last as long as management refuses to talk to the workers. The day and time they agree to talk to us and negotiate the fringe benefits and welfare of the workers, that time we should consider this action.
And maybe one final question, confirm to us that this is happening across all the ports and terminals in the country.
As we speak, all our formations in the country are on this strike, as far as its shipping companies.
All right, thank you indeed, Comrade Uche Ugonu, the National Treasurer of the Union, speaking to us live here. He's also the Minipas President of the branch. But as I was mentioning just a moment ago, I can see that particular placard there. If we can pan to it, we can see this placard, which has to do with the removal of fuel subsidy. It reads that we demand for transport palliatives for workers to cushion the effect of subsidy removal. So, indeed, this is different from what the National ESCO has just told us, whether this is connected or not to the fuel subsidy removal. But
all right.
I'm thinking that it's indeed connected to it.
Okay, all right, Kelly. Well, they do have their demands, and obviously they're also feeling the pinch of the subsidy removal. So I guess, some people just decide to bring that. But thank you so much for giving us that broader look at the strike right there at the venue, Kelly. So we still have with us here, Comrade joining us here in the studio, Governor Eroju. So you've seen your people there. That was the plan, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you cannot tell us exactly how long this is going to take, because it's affecting ports all over the country, operations all over the country.
Yeah.
But you don't want to tell us how long you're going to do this for.
No, if they have to come, if they come to negotiating table for to discuss the welfares and wages of the shipping workers, then if there's positive outcome, then we'll call off the strike.
So if you start negotiations, do you call off the strike or until you get what you want?
No, the moment the procedure is the moment we start discussing, we call off the strike. The moment we start discussing and we believe that we are going to have a headway, then we call off the strike.
But I hope you don't. I mean, this is a huge loss to the economy. The ports, that's where you have imports and exports. We're talking of boosting our non-oil exports and all of that, so it's a huge loss. It's going to reflect in our GDP. It's going to reflect in our FX and every other thing that, is connected to economic activities.
Yeah, I think the leadership of Maritime Workers Union Comrade Prince Abdulwahid Adewale Adonju is a patriotic Nigeria. He hardly called out workers for strike. He loved the country, he loved everybody. But when we are pushed to the wall, we have to react. Because if a worker retired and we are giving him just 700,000, and he have to move his family to either to Maiduguri or to other part of the country, with this situation now, this fuel subsidy removal, how is he going to manage? And you know that most of our children attend private school, both primary and secondary school. Okada used to carry them from home to school and bring them back. How are they going to cope? That is the area of subsidy. So if we are talking about increase in wages and other conditions of service that border on hour of work, retirement, final pay-off, medical facility, minimum entry position, outsourcing, and so on and so forth. Because we believe that the worker who work like as you are working here, you have to enjoy the benefit of working. And at the point of exit, you have to go home with something that is tangible. So, like I said, the President General of Maritime Workers Union, who is the Deputy President of Nigeria Labour Congress, is a patriotic Nigeria that wants things to be done orderly. So this, we were pushed to the wall before this position was taken to shut down the operation.
So if you sustain this strike, and the NLC, the bigger umbrella, has threatened to start strike on Wednesday because of subsidies, so I mean, so everything is shut down.
Yes, it's going to be shut down because in the sense that I run generator and I'm buying 5,000, 10 liters for 5,000. There is no light. We have this become the former government has spent millions of money to ensure that we have power generation, we have lights. I hope you are getting me. But we are not. You use generator too. I use generator. So we buy fuel. Go to other countries like Dubai, you don't see generator. Go to South Africa, the generator has up to 20,000 megawatts.
South Africa, they have a huge power shortage. So let's not even go to South Africa.
When
their problem seems to be bigger than ours at this time.
When Ramaphosa come on board, things change. But before he's coming, everything was in order.
He's a Nigerian. Anyway, we have to thank you so much, Comrade Abdul Eroje, Deputy Secretary General, Organizing the Maritime Workers Union. Thank you so much, and we do beg you in your protests, try to make it peaceful, and do remember that the economy needs a lot of positive activity at this time.
No, we agree with that, because after oil, the port is the gateway to the national economy. So we know that before we come to this point, is because the shipping companies, they were recalcitrant.
All right, thank you so much for your time this morning. So there you go there. The strike by Maritime Union workers continues, unfortunately, and as at this time, they cannot tell us exactly how long that will last. They say they will continue to down tool until they get positive response, which we hope will be very soon, because we cannot overemphasize the need for economic activities at the port.